Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kostuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from the Govardhan Eco Village in beautiful Maharashtra. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center, New York, Kostuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's today's study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chilling out here at Kostuba's room with a group of live for our Wisdom of the Sages retreat happening now here in India. Very exciting. You know what we do when we have a Wisdom of the Sages retreat? We announce our next one. We're going to Italy, everybody.
Okay.
June 9th. Reach out to, what's our Italy address?
June 9th. Yeah.
June 11th. June 11th. It's what's our
For a week.
WOTS, Wisdom of the Sages, WOTS Italy @gmail.com. For more information, or go to our website, wisdomofthesages.com/events. You know what this is? That's our 4th annual Italy retreat.
Awesome. Love it there.
All right, let's do another one in Bali.
Good.
Ever go to Bali?
Never.
You would like it.
It's
You'd
a
really like
beach.
it. No, I know.
Oh,
I never
is
go to
it
the beach.
temples?
Barely go to the beach. It's just beautiful. You know what's great in Bali?
Tell me.
Gardening.
Okay.
Best gardening ever.
Gardening.
Very, very impressive.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you want to do, Raghunath?
It's time for Miss Mara to step on board.
Okay.
Give some interesting announcements for us. Here she is.
We have bacteria.
She's getting tan, isn't she?
She does that.
Malibu Mara's back.
Sunshine's good for me, I think.
Vitamin D3.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
important to get.
Yes.
You get it when the hours between 10 and 2 especially.
I like to get the 11 to 12 hours of sunlight.
That's key. Right
I
there.
agree. We're back.
She doesn't mean 11 to 12 hours of sunlight. She means between 11 o'clock and 12. Thank you for just clarifying this.
Thank you. We're back to your recovery group meetings. The men meet at noon and the women are meeting at 2 p.m. today. And this Sunday is Bhakti Center's Urban Devi Sangha.
Oh, Renee,
Sunday
the
at 11
ladies.
a.m. Yes.
Who's gonna? Any more info about that? Come on, Mara, you
Alright.
can't slack on this. People need to know.
She's sitting there knitting.
She's just saying. Now I just say Urban Davy. I don't bother. Get back to my knitting. Here we go.
The topic is Who Am I? The Devastation of Discrimination.
Yeah, you see, that makes a big difference when you hear that.
Yeah.
I want to go.
I know, but you're not allowed in.
Yeah.
You could disguise yourself.
Sue them, actually, probably.
You could disguise yourself as a woman.
Oh, like Theodora
Exactly.
of Alexandria.
Yes.
They didn't know until he died.
The beard almost gave him away. Okay.
The speaker is Rasa Shtali Devidasi. And she's a South African devotee. She was a champion for women in Bhakti as part of the Women's Collective South Africa,
Okay.
an initiative that focuses on creating a happy and safe service atmosphere for Vaishnavis.
Okay.
She's also the managing director of Bhakti Theater.
Oh,
I thought you'd like that, Raghu.
disguises and all of that. Costumes.
Yep. Hey, before we start, let's play Meet the
I'm down.
Pilgrims. Emma, come on down.
Yeah, that's why nobody's showing up.
No, it's dress up day. Everyone's like,
Welcome, Emma.
welcome Emma from
Hi guys.
Brazil.
But based in the UK.
Based in
Sounds
the
more like UK. I was just saying, you can't tell a person from Brazil by the accent. At least I can't.
Yeah, I haven't got the Brazilian accent.
You got a
Não
British
falo
accent.
português.
They
Yeah,
should not-
very British, terribly British.
How long have you been in British?
England.
England. British land.
Pretty much most of my life. So,
Okay, so you're
yeah.
sort of British.
Yeah.
Londoner?
Oh no, near Scotland. Yeah,
Yorkshire.
the other side. So Lake District. Super
Lake
nice,
District.
the National Park, Cumbria.
What's the lake up there?
The main
The
lake
district.
is Windermere Lake. Windermere. It's called Windermere. Lake
How
Windermere.
far is Loch Ness?
About 3 hours drive north for me.
Crockett would be spending a lot of time. Spare binoculars.
It's all real.
Yeah, definitely.
Dragon worship.
Yeah,
Okay, so Emma, what's your story? This is a weird one. I knew her story. I
yeah,
don't even know how she got here. Tell us how you got here.
Well, good question. I kind of 8 years ago, I had a burnout in life and just been asking myself the big questions: Who am I? What am I doing here? And I got blown here literally in January. Still going where the wind blows in life. And
Like you signed up for the
popped up.
You signed up for the Kirtan Academy.
Yeah, but not knowing how to play or sing.
Somebody told me today, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you said we're all buying harmoniums, you thought they meant a harmonica.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's true story. Yeah.
So let's get this straight.
Like, why are they so worried about carry on and checked underneath? Like, there's a little harmonica.
Yeah.
What's the big deal about
Yeah,
it?
but then somebody asked a real logical question, like, how can you sing and play the harmonica? And then I was like, oh, I never thought of that.
This is I cannot believe you're here right now.
I got to get this straight. You didn't know anything about bhakti. You really didn't even know anything about kirtan.
Or harmonicas.
Yes.
Or harmonium.
All musical instruments.
What in the world compelled you to come to this remote place in India to learn about kirtan, which you didn't know anything about?
So now what I've learned on the wisdom training, faith.
Interesting.
There's something that I can't describe. Makes no material sense. This wise old man told me, because he's been another year around the sun since I met him. Yeah, it makes no material sense, but I've just drawn to with your energy on the podcast with Rich Roll, and here I am.
Rich Roll.
Rich
Okay.
Roll has brought so many people to this particular training.
So you saw Raghunath and Rich Roll. You're like, that guy's got something going on, and he's got some kind of music thing going on. I'll go and try it.
Yes. Yeah. Not in a summary.
I admire that kind of openness, you know.
Yeah.
Not many of us around in life.
Exploration, explorative desire. Like, I'm just gonna get a plane, fly there, and buy a harmonica. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
comes
in.
with way more than I expected.
All right, let's get to that. What have you come back with?
Yeah. Well,
that's-
check-in luggage for one. Yeah. Something a bit bigger. Yeah, no, it's
well, not only that,
beautiful.
you're supposed to be gone by now. Then you're like, you know
Yes.
what? I'm staying longer, and you're here longer now
I
because
know.
Kirtan Academy ended.
Yeah.
So what's the deal? Why are you here longer? You must have got something out of this. Please explain.
Yeah, so during the Kirtan Academy, the connection there, singing from the heart and being tone deaf and being accepted is the first time ever in my life without being judged. No, but there's some, as you say, the depth. There's some depth which I knew nothing about. And something's just drawn me to listen to your classes, your workshops, and just find a little bit more about this, because I have good principles in life, I feel, and I live in a good way. Probably, I'm more about fairness and morals, but it's super nice to hear this side. I mean, my path, I've learned from a great man who's learned from ancient yoga techniques, and I've just come back to the source, if I like.
She's a senior Wim Hof teacher.
Oh, right.
Is that a good way to describe you? A senior Wim Hof teacher?
Yeah.
Like you're like elbows with Wim all the time.
Yeah, Wim and I are.
This is how jealous he is.
Like, they-
You're with like Wim all the time.
Yeah, not when as and when needed. But I teach I teach in the academy, and
Or what's the most extreme feat you've done?
Wim.
Well, you can't beat your first time in I think you can't beat your first plunge. That, to me, where I was in my life, was the most extreme thing that I've done.
Wow.
So climbing up a mountain, just minimal clothing, minus 16 degrees and 60 kilometers per hour wind factor, that ought to do it.
In snow.
Yes, my hair froze, if anyone can
Your
see.
hair-
literally in this position.
And the idea of let me get this straight. The idea of putting yourself through these extremities
Yeah.
is it sort of conquers anxiety, depression, because you have to like, I got to survive here.
Yeah, what are
You
you
don't
doing
have
that for?
time to
Wha-
dally in. Poor me.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do this summer?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean,
Explain that a little bit. That's a very interesting concept about. It's like sort of like a yogic way of controlling the mind.
for sure.
Let her explain it.
Yeah. No,
You don't think
it-
I should
No,
explain
I
it for
think, I
her?
think you should
well,
explain it all and then say, explain that.
it was very much as simplifying my life to one breath at a time and one step at a time. So it really controlled the monkey mind or the ego, and it was
In the
more like
moment kind
in
of
the
thing.
moment. Yeah, my servant. The
But
mind was my
Just
servant.
doing something extreme
I
brings you into the
I
moment.
totally get that, but in the moment, can you get hyperthermia or frostbite? In the moment, in the breath,
Yes, more
every
moments
breath.
than just the one that you're in at that
Coming
time.
into his yoga classes, he always tells you to breathe through it. So there's the magic. Yeah, the breath
The
is
breath,
the key.
but you still don't. I mean, it overcomes hyperthermia
Yeah, I mean, we
and
went
overcomes.
so far. Wim hasn't had any
Hyper-
hypothermia at his retreat, so it's all good. But no, in all seriousness, when you set your mind and have intention, it can go a long
It
way.
changes things.
Yeah, it does. The power of attention.
Fascinating.
Have you ever seen that video where they go up into the Himalayas and then like just out of the snow comes out this like sadhu with dreadlocks and he bursts out of the snow?
Yes, I
No,
saw
but
that.
I want to do
I
that.
saw that.
That's where I'm going to be blown next. I'm going to
Like
go to
he's-
the Himalayas.
He was like sitting in under the snow, just meditating away, and then he heard these people coming up, and he comes right out into the snow, and he was like, "Whoa!"
I love that story. No, I can.
Google that.
Yeah, I will
Find
do.
it on YouTube. I've seen.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of your story this morning. So you've already done it.
Done what, Mary? You got to turn off these cameras because they're struggling with the internet. I think.
When you went to have your in the Himalayas and you went for your
Oh, my
your
cold
kilometer-
bath.
Yeah,
In the at Muktinath in Nepal.
yeah.
It
Oh,
was a good one.
Nepal.
You should go.
Yeah.
Should go. We'll get some Shelagram Sheilas, take our frozen bath in the Papam and Punya Kund.
And our Amrita Kishore is a regular polar bear at the Coney Island New
Coney
Year's
Island
Day
Bear-
kind of
Polar
plunge.
Bear Club. Is that a little different? That's like a quick dip. You just hang out in the cold water.
No, we 2 minutes is all you need for a really good physiological response. Quieten the mind and happy, healthy, strong, not cold, miserable, and tired.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
Frostbite.
Emma, your story is quite fascinating. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
I'm
you for
glad
coming.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you're
thank
staying
you.
later.
yeah, I love it so much. So if any of you guys feel the urge or spontaneity, book the next one.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
Talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, that was very
This has been a
interesting.
paid advertisement.
By Wim Hof.
Okay. Dominica, come on down.
Not a minute.
Dominica, straight from Tokyo.
Straight out of Tokyo.
Now, Dominica's a
Yoga
she's
teacher.
a yoga teacher, but she's a regular Zoomer too.
Yes.
Yes.
She's on Zoom a lot. Now you got to talk right in that mic, Dominica.
Um,
What's your story? You're American, but you're living in Japan for 30 years.
yeah, 32 years, I think. I finished university and I worked through university as a nurse and was thinking of maybe going to law school, needed a break. And I decided to go to Japan. And once I made that decision, it just felt so right in the heart. So I went. I didn't do any research or anything. I just arrived and everything was.
Look at all these
Wait,
spontaneous women here.
You,
They're
you,
just
you're
like
doing
running.
research?
No, it just felt like the right thing to do. It was my dharma. So I arrived and everything was my size. So I stayed.
Okay.
I
like,
will say
everything
I'm a
works.
pretty big, tough-looking guy in Japan.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was really wonderful and everything was unpredictable and new. And I really was ready for that in my life.
Yeah.
And I just caught on to the language and it was just, yeah. So it was my dharma. And then I opened a yoga studio and I was doing jnana yoga. And then COVID hit. I gave up my studio.
Oh,
Which I'd wanted to do before COVID. So
Yeah.
COVID was the little push off the fence, so to
Yeah.
speak. And I wanted to just teach and focus on yoga and focus on myself. And I realized I needed something for the heart. I'd been in the head too much. And so I was looking for some kind of podcast similar to Alex. I was kind of looking for something and listened to one or two and then hit on Wisdom of the Sages and then binge watched for like 3 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
Love those
listened. I should say
bingers.
binge listened for like 3 days. I was just hooked. And
A wisdom of the sage is bender, we call it.
yeah. And so I came
And there's the wisdom of the sages hangover.
and then I came last year to the wisdom training and light on wisdom, and it was so brilliant, more than what I expected. And I came with a little bit of criticism, not criticism, critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
And
not
was
criticism.
waiting, not criticism,
Discernment. Discernment.
discernment, but
That's
I
better
was
word.
skepticism.
Oh, skepticism.
maybe, a
Okay.
little
Like, who are these guys?
yeah, who are okay? Is it really is true? Is this real? Is this all on the up and up? And it was all on the up and up. It's just,
Probably wise for you to
Good,
have that
good.
caution.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to just swallow it all in, but I could hear truth. My heart could hear truth, similar to like when I decided to go to Japan. When I was this, I felt it in my heart. My head couldn't make a sense of it, but my heart was really like, yeah, this is the thing to do. And it was amazing. And I took so many gems, so many nuggets back with me and worked on myself more throughout the year with what I learned and continued to listen to the sages and get more involved in the Bhakti Center, etc.
Wow.
And then I said, I'm going to come back for another wisdom training. And then, but this kirtan thing is really interesting. And so my mom said, oh yeah, you should try kirtan. I said, and she said, no, you should do it. And so, okay.
How old's your
why
mom?
not?
How's your mom?
My mom, how old is she?
Yeah.
She's 76.
Minded
Open-minded.
76-year-old
She's
mom.
really, she sees such a change in me and
Right.
how open I am and how lighter I am and how much more loving I am.
You are. I just thought you were always loving. I didn't realize there was an old version of you.
Well, I was.
I want to meet the grumpy old Dominica.
Oh, no, you don't.
The old crotchety grouch.
Yeah. yes. So, yeah, so people can see that my students can see, I can see, my daughter can see, my family can see. So they're all for it.
You're getting a
so-
lot of love on the message board from everybody. But
Yeah.
I got a question for you. In Japan, first of all, are you a vegetarian?
Yes, I am.
Is it difficult to be a vegetarian in
Yes, it
Japan?
is. So, but
is.
I'm a really good cook.
Oh, okay.
But it's getting better. I went to Kyoto. Kyoto has a lot of vegan, vegetarian-friendly restaurants now. They just they have a really great vegan ramen. Anybody going to Tokyo?
Kyoto's an area in Tokyo, right?
Yeah. But Tokyo's a little more difficult. We do have it, but it's just hard. They open, they close quickly. But it's getting more popular now that
What is Japan?
tourism is opening back up again, and it's
Anybody heard of us in Japan besides you?
We can find out. We can look at the stats.
yeah, you
check
can
the
look at the
stats.
stats. But I'm saying anybody in Japan, definitely Wisdom of the Sages, best.
You say it in Japanese.
もうん全部英語だから英語わからないだったら Wisdom of the Sages 難しいですけど、でも英語わかれば Wisdom of the Sages ぜひチェックアウトしてください。はい。
Oh, that was
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dominica.
you very much.
Arigato.
Thank you, everyone.
Arigato.
Hey, wow.
Hi, Bo,
What a
Dominica.
wonderful lady.
That's a cool language. They have 3 alphabets. Pretty
Yeah,
impressive, huh?
it's-
Yeah. She's
So you could just
validating me.
use anyone that you want.
No, they're different for different things.
Foreign words.
Hmm.
No kanji. Okay.
Okay, no one can hear you.
You're not gonna
No, I'm curious. But thank you.
They got 3 alphabets.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. We're glad you're part of the family here, Dominica.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I got some interesting people here.
We sure do. You ready for an interesting nugget?
Oh, yeah. Where's your nug?
I got it over here if you want to see it.
It's a little story we've been talking about lately.
So yeah, last week I think it was sometime. I tried to come up with a story. There's another similar story.
It's a similar story. It's
Yeah.
confusing.
But either one of these stories can work to illustrate the point. And Mara mentioned the horse story. But it's a story that illustrates how, reversals come in life, difficult things come in life. We might be inclined to see them as, oh, how unfortunate. but you really never know how the puppet master behind everything is pulling
Sure.
the strings, right? And what seems unfortunate may be fortunate. What seems fortunate may be unfortunate. Good karma can be bad. Bad karma can be good. Yeah, really, the wise person isn't swaying in the waves of this. They're kind of steadily moving in their direction, whether things seem like, oh, this is good luck or this is bad luck, right?
It's
So
really,
this story kind of
it's
illustrates
really
that.
true. And you can probably think of a few things in our lives that have turned out that way historically.
Sure.
My father dying was like tragic for me. And it was probably so tragic, it accelerated my spiritual desire, my spiritual growth,
Right.
and sometimes the most tragic things that happened to me in my life, the time I got beat down in Buffalo, that was like the most spiritual experience of my life.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes when things are going great, there's no impetus to go deeper internally.
Sure.
It's only thing when things are crumbling around, you're like, oh God, what is this about? And then you learn to sort of like pull yourselves up, look a little inside to find some answers.
Okay.
Instead of like skating around when everything's whoopee.
Mm.
When you're living the life of whoopee.
Yeah.
Ever have the whoopee episode? Remember that?
No.
Remember that, Mayor? It was like whoopee.
I don't really remember that.
It just
Vaguely,
means like
vaguely.
everything's woo.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
let's hear it. Ready?
so here's the story. Okay. Once upon a time, there was an old farmer who had worked his crops for many years. One day, his horse ran away, and upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. "Oh, such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "You must be so sad." "We'll see," said the
That's
farmer.
farmer voice.
The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 2 other wild horses.
Oh.
"Ah, wonderful," the neighbors exclaimed. "Not only did your horse return, but you received 2 more. What great fortune you have."
We'll see.
"We'll see," said the farmer. The following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown and broke his leg. The neighbors again came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. "Now your son cannot help you with your farming," they said. "What terrible luck you have." You'll be the farmer.
We'll see.
The following week, military officials came to the village to conscript young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. "Such great news. Your son must be so happy." The man smiled to himself and said once again,
We'll see. That's it.
"Well, that's it. That's it.
But you get the point.
We'll see."
We'll see. Yeah. I think the other story that we had, it kind of had like a sadhu kind of character, like the town wise man,
Right.
and
Saying something
they
like,
kept saying, yeah, he kept just,
"Perhaps."
it's all in God's hands or something like that, and they
Perhaps.
were just getting frustrated with that answer. But it might actually be the wisest answer.
Right.
Like we read that we kind of read from that story about that Theodora
Sure.
of Alexandria yesterday. You can imagine her circumstance. Like she was falsely accused of, everyone thought she was a man, and everyone falsely accused her of impregnating this apparently innocent girl, right? Of course, she couldn't have done it. She was a woman. And
We'll
but
see.
we'll see. so
I'm just
so-
going to say that the whole show.
well, that's kind of like, is it though?
Is it?
Really? We'll see. So so anyway, they brought the child back, and they forced her they forced her to accept the child, which wasn't hers.
Mhm.
And they forced her out of the ashram because she had done this. And she just like, rather than protest,
Right.
rather than expose the other person,
Reveal her real identity.
she didn't
her
reveal her own
gender.
identity. She just accepted it. She must have been thinking like, okay, if God has brought this child into my life,
Sure.
then now what I'm meant to do is to care for this child, which is,
Maybe she
that
had
level
some
of-
motherly inclinations.
that may be,
Yeah.
that may be not. We'll see, but
See.
whether that was true or not, what we do know is she accepted it. She accepted that fate and decided, let me serve God in this way. If this is the way the world has moved, rather than try to fight the movements of the world, even though on one level it appears unjust, I'll accept it and I'll live with it and I'll keep my attitude of, by nature, I'm a servant. I serve God within whatever circumstances the world puts forward. And I want to guard myself, like she was when she instructed her son. I want to guard myself of all malice. I want to keep my mind peaceful. I want to keep it focused. I'll accept the child and I'll stay focused. And so, someone could say, "Oh, how unfortunate her circumstances were," but she was more like, "Well, we'll see," or more like, whatever the case is, I accept this as a good fortune, right? Even what seems to be our bad fortune, from a zoomed out perspective, from a deeper perspective, it can all be seen as good fortune.
I think this is the bhakti default. Our life,
Yes.
our eternal life, is almost like, remember these old in the movies when they used to play the movies with like a 35mm reel, like in a movie theater.
I was a projectionist.
The projection. You were a projectionist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That could be the title of your autobiography.
The projectionist. I don't know.
But anyway, imagine, and all those 35mm, each one was a frame.
Or
Right.
what? Each life or each incident in
Each
your life?
frame. No,
just
the film.
the
The
film.
film itself had millions of different frames in it.
Yes.
Right. And each frame, there's a different emotion on your face, suppose, right?
Okay.
So sometimes you hear about these very tragic lives. I mean, people grow up sometimes in tragedy.
Yeah.
It's just a tragic situation from birth. Then it's a tragic situation in childhood, youth, teen life. Sometimes it's like, this guy's never going to get, it's not fair. This lifetime is like those frames. And sometimes I could be going through it was a scary movie when I was little, the Omen or The Exorcist. Imagine if you had The Exorcist and you rolled that thing out and you're looking at one frame and someone's like smiling. You think, what a happy movie. Or then you look at the head that's spinning around, like, what a horror movie.
Yeah.
So sometimes we trust that God's got a great plan for us. There's a benevolent force and it's lifting us higher. And sometimes we're going down hard, right? And some people have experienced that in this life, hit the bottom so hard only to spring off that bottom. And so if you see these tragedies, not that we shouldn't feel compassion, but if we have experienced them ourselves, we should understand this is a frame in a very, very vast film. It's a moment in history. Our whole life. I'm 58 years now. Even me, I can realize it. You don't even have to preach this to me. It's like a sneeze in time that I'm 58 years old. I was a kid a moment ago. I was playing baseball in my front yard a moment ago. And now I'm 58? Come on. And so this whole lifetime is like a frame. Looking at Shameshri over here, 22 years young.
Just a frame.
A frame away from being an old lady, kid. Don't get so old. Look at it. And that's just the way the world works. That's time. And then it's just running the film. Then the soul passes to another frame. Oh, look, this is the happy frame. This is the destitute frame. This is the good fortune frame. This is the exploration frame. And it's just going like this. But we should understand that life, with all its huge ups and downs, roller coaster rides, or some of the steadiness of a film, right? It's a steady time of the film. It's always lifting us up. And there's deep faith in that Vishnu is benevolent and lifting us to a higher place. And especially as we engage in devotional service, as we engage in bhakti, as we develop connection with the holy name, with Guru, then it's just like this things can happen real quick. Things can happen real quick to our recover of the material addiction.
The bhakti yogi, they're kind of thinking and feeling and living on this platform of eternity, right?
Sure.
So it's like these things, in one sense, like you're saying, it's a frame in the sense that it's like it's over quick and then there's the next frame. It's also like a frame, like I'm removed from it, observing it, right? So like okay, Theodora, she's like, okay, now I've been given the child,
Mm.
right? And I'm observing how this world is moving and just
Yeah.
moving through it as best I can. But it's just like, I know that this world is going to hand me all these different kind of situations. It's handing me this now. I'll accept it. And it's not that the person is weak or, no, actually, this is like a real strength, right? It's not like in other words, someone would say, no, fight for your justice and stand up
Right.
and but actually you could flip it and say that that's actually weak, right? It's like you're unable to accept reality.
Ooh,
You're
I like
unable to
that.
accept what the world gives you. No, I'm strong. Whatever comes my way, I can accept it. I don't have to desperately fight to change things that in one sense ultimately I can't even change, right? Like whining like a child. Okay, I'll accept that's a strong person
Mm.
that can accept the reversals in life without um without uh crying about it, with whining about it, fighting about it, pouting about it. No, I'll just accept it. Even there's even some extra special kind of virtue in it
Mm.
when you've been wronged, and then there's even more virtue in it when you don't even reveal that you've been wronged. Like now we're getting
There's
on
more
that
virtue in it.
we're
Yeah.
getting on that sainthood level. Like these
Yeah.
are special people. We can learn. We can look at those lives and learn from them, take from them, be inspired by them.
We have very little control in this life. We
It's
tend to think we have a lot of control.
it's
We
very
have
little.
very little control,
Yeah,
except for our thoughts and our mind.
yeah,
That we can control.
yeah, yeah. When we get
And,
that,
and we give that away oftentimes. We
we
give away
waste it away.
we waste it away. We get caught up in rage and anger and fury, and we own fury. We
Distraction.
embrace fury. And because of it, it's like it becomes the drop stone in the pond. We send a ripple effect of people that love us or feeling bad for us or trying to take care of us or just empathizing with us or adopting our fury also.
Mm.
Better to be that stone drop that represents peace of mind, sanity, composure, self-control.
Nice. We'll see.
See,
All
I like being close to Kastuba like this. I can just go on and drop my hand right
right. The old yawning
Yeah,
and
the
then
yawn.
the arm coming back. That old trick. I was talking to Shameshwar yesterday about a friend of mine, and and she was like saying, "Oh, like an older person."
He's younger than me,
I'm
actually.
like, I'm like older. That's just a euphemism for old.
And
Like an older person.
I know when I talk to
Well,
Shimei,
it's just a cell. What are you saying?
it's
A
just a
frame.
frame. And
One more frame.
a few more frames, Shimei Shri. You'd be walking with a stick. You laugh. Yeah, whenever I talk to people at Shimei Shri, I assume her age. Like I think I'm
Yeah,
her
right.
age. I was like, yeah, those old guys over there. But we're at this age. Like when I find an old guy, like I was at the hospital, and so all the doctors are there, old guys with suits on. I was like, oh wait a second, they're all younger than me. These old doctors are all younger than me.
I think because they're more accomplished that they're older.
Thank you for turning that sword in my ribs. Perhaps because they have done something with their life that maybe you feel
insignificant in their shadow.
Oh, Krishna.
No, they're great souls over there.
What a ride this material world has been, huh?
What
What a ride.
is it almost? What a ride. Okay. So, I don't know. About to crash. All right, let's keep this going. Bhagavatam now. Huh?
This is all the Bhagavatam, isn't it?
No, we were talking
all the
about that in
Bhagavatam.
today's wisdom training.
And as people ask questions and there's an answer and that dialectic is there, guess what? That's the Bhagavatam perpetuating forward.
Yeah.
Huh?
We were talking about that today.
I was eavesdropping the bushes.
Were you?
No.
Bhagavad Tattva.
Just kidding.
we were having the class today, and then like a group, we could hear a group going by, and they were chanting. What were they chanting? Something about Giriraj, Radha Ki Jai, Giriraj Ki Jai, or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we'll just wait a minute, it'll be past. But then we saw like it's like little children, like all like probably came in from Mumbai or something like that. Lots of little children, and they're chanting, singing about Giriraj and Radha and Krishna. And then they're going around, and there's like a huge snake. Must have been like
A real snake?
no. snake? No, it was like a snake of people.
Snake of humans. Okay.
Yeah, and but it was like hundreds of them. They're going back.
It's just like everything I think about all the time. All right, come on.
No, that's all. I was just saying it was beautiful.
It's
This
beautiful.
beautiful snake
It's
of
beautiful.
people, and they were chanting, and we were chanting back, and they're smiling. We're connecting on that Vrindavan
Yes.
level.
Yeah.
They're circumambulating Govardhan.
How about the best text? You want to hear the best text message I got from a kid who's about to be 17 years old today? I got this text message. Hey, Dad, that song, Shri Radhika Stava, is that easy to play on the harmonium? It's like, I didn't even know this song. And he goes, I'm trying to learn the harmonium. I get that message from my 17-year-old son. I was like, I was about to cry.
Oh,
I was about to cry. My son wants to learn the harmonium on his own.
sing about Radha.
Singing about Radha, Shri Radhika Stava. I was like, oh my God. I tried to play cool. I was like, oh, oh yeah, there are a couple things there. I can show you. I'm not that hard, but
I can show you the techniques.
it's a good dad moment
Nice. Right. Makes up for all this.
because I'm in jail and I've got nothing to do. because
Because I need to pray to Radharani because I'm in jail. By the way, I'm in jail.
okay.
Ready?
Hare Krishna.
Right.
Right, I'm the
Namaskrityanam chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat.
Before he started the Srimad Bhagavatam, which server means a conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
Nasta prayesha bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam, and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact.
Om Jnanatimarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer obeisances at their lotus feet.
They open up your esophagus.
That's my Mangalacharanam burp. It's embarrassing. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 13.
Things are taking a shift now. We're going to. Yeah, up to this point, the question was placed by Maharishi Parikshit to Shukadeva Goswami. The question was essentially,
the Lord seems how can the Lord play favorites?
Yeah.
Seems like the Lord should be impartial, like a parent. A good parent is impartial. I love you all. Why is the Lord playing favorites to the demigods?
seems like it could be the case. But now an episode has been brought up, is about to be brought up, where it seems like, hold it, he's really kind to the demons as well.
Yeah, he's been pretty good to the demons too.
Yeah.
And they're going to talk about Shishupal, who's one of my favorite demons ever.
Yeah.
He's
It's such a fascinating demon.
He's a fascinating demon.
Well, something's going to come out about the nature of Krishna. It's a yogic concept, but it's that if you bring your mind to him, even if it's not like generally when we think of like religion, right?
Mhm.
We think you have to turn towards God with a certain attitude, right? Maybe humility, maybe reverence, maybe love, however you want to say it. He was actually focused like a yogi on Krishna, but with hatred.
Yeah.
He was full of hatred for Krishna, but that hatred had him thinking about Krishna nonstop. It said that even when he was like a little kid, before he could even speak correctly,
Hated Krishna.
he hated and was just criticizing and
He was
talking.
related to Krishna.
Your cousin was in?
Can't remember.
Maybe it'll come up.
Uh-uh.
But and the yogic principle there is that Krishna is purifying by nature, right?
So even if you're meditating on them in a hateful way, let's face it, if you hate somebody, it's like, oh, all you can do is think about, oh, there they are again. Oh,
Yeah.
You know, I wish that would happen to him instead of him. You know, that's deep meditation.
Yeah.
Lust is deep meditation.
We got some right here.
Oh,
Mirrors
listen,
on
this
it.
just in. He was Shishupal was the son of King Damagosh
Demagosh.
and Shruta Shubha. The sister, Shruta Shubha was the sister of Vasudeva
So they were
and Kunti,
cousins.
as well as the cousin of Nanda. This is crazy. I need a family tree. He was slain by Krishna. Okay, that's great.
And this slaying by
thank you.
Krishna was like, when you think about it, so this person, Shishupal, he was full of hatred, like just raging, beyond normal animosity.
You want to hear his birth history?
Okay.
Interesting birth. He was born a little tweaked. He had like an extra arm, ear, eye, something like really sort of slightly deformed.
Okay. You don't know which one, but
I don't know which one, but it was like, oh God. It was like, this is going to be a tough kid to take care of.
all right.
And but there was a prophetic voice when he was born that said, three eyes, four arms. Thank you.
Oh.
And three eyes and four arms. So a prophetic voice, not God, but occasionally there are these. What's it called?
Aksha, what is it?
Ak-
What is it called?
Akash.
Akash Shavani?
Akash Shavani.
An instruction from the sky. Vani, an instruction from the
Chaitanya, what do you call it? Akashvani. Instructions from the sky. And it said, whomever's lap you get put on and you heal, that
Yeah.
person will kill you.
Ooh.
So
They're putting them on.
they're
people's
trying to put them on
laps.
people's laps to heal them of this.
It's kind of like a mixed thing, right? It's like, oh, thank you for healing our son, but you're gonna kill him.
But you're going to kill him.
Yeah.
So sure enough, every time somebody come over, hey, put my son on your lap, nothing. Put my son on your lap, nothing. Put my son on your lap, nothing. Krishna comes over to see his
Little Krishna.
aunt, little Krishna. And he puts him on Krishna's lap, and all of a sudden, all of the birth deformities go away.
Okay.
And then she looks at Krishna. Krishna, why are you going to kill my son? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, Krishna, please. The Akashvani has said you're going to kill my son. Listen,
I have no interest in
why,
killing
I
your
have no
son.
interest in killing your son. He said, listen, you've got to promise me, Krishna, you will never kill my son. And she said, listen, auntie, what do you say, auntie in Hindi? Chachi, Chachi, I promise you, your son can insult me 100 times and I will not kill him.
Mhm.
That was the promise he made. So she felt very relieved. But as they grew up,
We'll see.
Shishupal hated. And when time came for Yudhisthira to worship Krishna as the guest of honor, Shishupal stood up and was infuriated and started criticizing Krishna in front of the Pandavas, who were really furious. They were all had their hands on their scabbard,
Twitching.
ready to kill this guy. How dare they say this about Krishna? But sure enough, grandfather Bhishma, who understood everything, grandfather Bhishma just looked at them and said, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Krishna's got this under control. And Krishna was secretly counting insult number 1, insult
Mhm.
number 2, insult number 3. And he counted 100. And at 100, Krishna stood up very calmly and he spoke all the offenses and all the evil things as king, because this king was no sweetheart.
Mm.
Shishupal was a real troublemaker. And Krishna listed all his offenses, and then he manifested his Sudarshan. So Vishnu has 4 weapons, four things he carries. The lotus, right, to benedict the devotees. The
Lotus.
conch shell to benedict the devotees. The mace or the club, and the disc for the demons. And so he manifested his whirling disc, his chakra, and he threw that at the head of Shishupal.
Effortlessly, right?
Threw it. And it sliced his head off. Comes back to him. It's sort of like a boomerang weapon. Head comes off. The whole like religious function is like Yudhisthira was like, oh my God, what this is like a wedding fail. It's a version of a wedding fail. It's like everyone's awkward. People are leaving. There's skirmishes breaking out. People are running for their chariots. And what's going to happen? It was just like Yudhisthira was sort of a little upset about it.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to think about the uniqueness of this, because we see Krishna, and again, if we're gonna zoom out on this,
Yeah.
the whole story starts with the demons infiltrating the earth, taking birth in the royal families, and the earth being like, I cannot bear these intergalactic major heavy duty demons.
You know it gets bad when the Earth complains.
Yes, and the Earth doesn't generally complain. So the Earth is just, I can't bear this
I can't do
anymore.
this, I can't do
She's
this.
she's begging Brahma, try to help. You're the big creator of the universe. You're the one that Brahma's like, I'm not so powerful. I can deal with this. Let us go to Lord Vishnu. So they pray to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu assures them that he's going to come and he's going to take care of this, and that's part of his intergalactic play, right? So now you have Shishupal is one of these heavy duty major demons. And we see Krishna kills quite a few or arranges for the death. And ultimately the battle of Kurukshetra is to really
Rid the Earth.
rid the earth of all those horrible leaders.
I wonder how bad they were compared to today's leaders. Were they worse or?
They had a lot more power, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. And they were dealing with mystical weapons.
Yeah.
They were sort of like godly in one sense,
Yeah,
these demons.
And Shishupal, he's, in one sense, I suppose we could say he's the most vocal in terms of his
Animosity.
aversion, his animosity towards
Jarasandha
Krishna.
was up there.
Okay.
Jarasandha was a
Yeah,
big
yeah, yeah,
troublemaker.
yeah. But Krishna didn't kill Jarasandha. Krishna allowed his
Deamon.
devotee to kill
He
Jarasandha.
was sane.
Yeah. So, but in any case, Krishna's involved in the death of many of these demons. But Shishupal's death was as public as you can get. It was at the biggest, most important event.
It's
Well-
like killing them at the Super Bowl.
At the
You know what I
st-
mean?
Yeah, or like at the State of the Union address or something
Or like
that.
one of Joel Osteen's.
Well, I
you
mean,
know-
that's like a lot of people, but I'm saying
No,
like
because
the
a lot of people like
important.
it was like a religious event. So I said Joel Osteen, that that
Okay.
big Christian guy.
But what I mean is like all the most important people were there.
Yeah.
Universally, all the most important people were there, and they watched Krishna do that because they all have different ideas about who Krishna is.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Bhishma's like, he's Lord Vishnu himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's worshipable. And the Pandavas are like, he's the great Krishna. He's our friend. With them, it's sometimes a little hard to tell. They definitely depend on him as if he's the Lord, but they love him like a friend.
Mm.
And the demons just see him as like, why is this guy getting all the attention, right? He's not even a real warrior like the rest. He's a cowherd boy.
He's a cowherd
And-
boy.
and
And
it-
we're like
and
from noble family lineages. Who's Krishna?
And all this attention is going to him. He's like dances with the girls, and he's
He's not
this and
sure who his
that.
parents are. He's got no like.
Yeah.
That's one thing in India. Like, who are your parents?
Yeah.
They're like they're into your. No one asked that question. in
Cowherd?
America.
No, not so much. So anyway, so there publicly in front of everyone, Krishna demonstrated something, right? That even a very powerful demon, the one that was most vocally against him, without any effort, first of all, he was totally unmoved by all his words.
Mm.
Just sat there.
He
being
wasn't like,
insulted
"Oh,
and
I'm gonna get
insulted and
you."
insulted. Yeah,
There was no animosity. There was no revenge.
it was the moment of his honor, right? He was being shown tremendous honor, and right in that moment, it's like, what was that? Kanye West. He went up there and he started taking that award away from Taylor Smith. Is that Swift? Taylor
I
Swift.
don't know this.
Taylor Swift.
I think you're more engaged in the media than I am.
Whatever. You're engaged in a certain type of media.
30-second clips of animals
killing each other.
attacking each other.
Okay. But she won this a big award. It was the moment she was being honored, and
What
then
happened?
he came up there and said someone else should have gotten it. It was in the microphone. Something, yeah,
That's horrible.
yeah. So it's kind of like, right when someone's like, you dream, I'm going to be honored. Like, not that Krishna's dream, but in other words, he was being shown the highest honor in the most important event where everybody important was there to witness. And then this person gets up and just starts, hurling insults at him.
Right.
And how does he respond? He doesn't even say anything.
Yeah.
He just sits there. Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Count it. 1,
Okay.
2, 14, 18, 19, 20.
Mhm. And then-
99, 100.
And then,
Sheesh.
whoa.
But first, before he cut his head off, he listed all the crimes of Shishupal. And you're like,
Mhm.
oh, I get it.
Oh, so
You're
like,
actually
he
better.
deserves this.
He deserves it. And it sort of shifted the narrative a little bit.
Okay. And then without any effort.
Yeah.
And so it was demonstrated. He's more than just a cowherd boy, isn't he? You're right. If
There's no
everybody,
cowherd boy.
yeah, there's no
I've seen cowherd boys.
Yeah. And at the same time, something else very far out and significant was demonstrated very publicly right there, right then. And that's what we're going to read about now.
All right, let's dive into this.
What text are we on? Mara. Thank you.
Mara. Remember I used to yell at Mara all the time? That was so mean of me.
Kind of like
I've
George
changed.
Jetson.
I've changed.
Jane.
I'm so much nicer now, Mara, aren't I? See? The old days, you gotta listen to those old episodes. I was like a grouchy old. People would even write in like, "Why are you so mean to her?" It's sort of like a little fun thing we had. Or at least
fun
it
for
was
you.
Fun for, it was fun for the abuser. It was fun. I'm sorry. I want to make a public apology for anyone who listened to the first 100 episodes. Yes, I apologize to you and the listeners who had to hear that. It's not nice.
Okay.
Text 13, formerly, O king, when Maharaj Yudhisthira was performing the Rajasuya sacrifice,
Big public ritual.
the great sage
scene.
Narada, responding to his inquiry, recited historical facts showing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always impartial, even when killing demons.
Even when killing the demon.
In this regard, he gave a vivid example.
Okay, so now we've gone from sage level 2 to sage level. Yeah, sage level 2 to sage level 3.
Now, you may not know what Kostuba said. If you've joined this podcast later,
Yeah.
when he starts talking sage level 1, sage level 2, you might be like, what are you
It's been a long
talking about?
time since we broke
It's like,
that out.
yeah, it means like a bubble with a story within a story within a story.
So this is the third level within the
Third level within a story.
We start with
right?
the sages of Naimisharanya, hearing from Sutta Goswami.
It's like they're squirrelers like me. A squirrel within a squirrel within a squirrel.
Kind of.
Isn't it?
Not like you, but
Maybe
in
it's the
some ways.
personality of Godhead. Otherwise,
except
identically.
they
to
keep
you.
it on incredibly important information. But so we have the sages of Naimisharanya hearing from Sutta Goswami. That's the first level. Within the story that Sutta is telling, we hear about Sukadev Goswami speaking with Maharaj Pariksit. Now Sukadev Goswami is telling on the third level, we're hearing about a conversation between Narada, the great sage amongst the Devas, and Yudhishthira, Arjuna's elder brother, the ruler of the time. And again, this conversation is going to carry out through all from this point on to the end of the 7th canto. So practically from the beginning to the end.
All right, and here it goes. O king, at the Rajasuya sacrifice, Maharaj Yudhisthira, the son of Maharaj Pandu, personally saw Shishupal merge into the body of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Imagine witnessing that.
That's what I'm saying. That was the far thing that was seen. He killed
Everybody
it.
saw it.
Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it. Everybody saw this boy. This person. Nobody quite knows who Krishna is. Is he Vishnu? Is he a Deva? Is he a normal cowherd boy? Does he have a big reputation that he hasn't earned? Who is he?
You can't figure him out
Yeah.
unless you're his devotee.
But everybody was there, and everybody saw him effortlessly kill this very powerful demon, Shishupal. And then they saw the soul of Shishupal leave his body and merge into the body of Krishna. What just
It's like,
happened?
what?
Yeah, that's the significant thing here.
I wish I was there.
That would be
Would it be
amazing.
great?
right?
They'd be like,
That was awesome.
I'm like,
Their heads rolling around on the ground. Everyone's like,
I would like, he's got gold earrings. Take the earrings out of the head. That's horrible.
that's terrible.
I always think about that. I always think about metal
Gold,
detectors
gold.
in India. Treasures. It's got to be Arjuna's sword around here somewhere,
All right.
buried.
And that's significant because what it's indicating is that he achieved what the yogis call moksha, right? He achieved liberation.
Swarup Mukti.
Sayuja.
So Yujya Mukti gets the same form as the Lord.
He merges into the form.
Merges into the form of the
Sarupya
Lord.
is you get
Yeah.
the same form.
So Yujya.
Sayuja.
Okay. And that's what it says in the next verse. Therefore, okay, let's try this again. O king, at the Rajasuya sacrifice, Maharaj Yudhisthira, the son of Maharaj Pandu, personally saw Sisupal merge into the body of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Therefore, struck with wonder, he inquired about the reason for this from the great sage Narada, who was seated there. While he inquired, all the sages present also heard him ask the question.
Okay, we're out of
So
time.
they're having a little sage group meeting here.
Yeah, they had a sage group meeting.
We just started.
Yeah.
I feel like we just getting going.
I know we're just getting going. But we'll start with the conversation tomorrow.
We're developing an eagerness to hear the Bhagavatam. Isn't that a wonderful thing?
Yeah,
It's a perfection of life.
it is.
You know, that reminds me of
What?
Parjanya Maharaj,
Oh, Virginia, Maharaj.
Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Old man, ran a hotel, Gujarati guy.
Is that there? Got figured out life.
Figured out life. I run a motel. People stay here. They pay the rent, and I just sit in my little house. Not a fancy house at all, like a little motel house. I eat dokla, eat dokla, and just read the Srimad Bhagavatam all day. I was like, he's figured out the goal of life right here.
He's got it.
Most peaceful man you'd ever meet.
All right.
All right,
Mary, got something?
Miss Mare.
Good karma can be bad, and bad karma can be good.
Good can be bad. Bad can be good.
We say that a lot, don't we?
Yeah, good
gotta
karma
wait
can
and
ruin
see.
your life.
That's a big Wisdom of the Sages t-shirt. It comes up a lot. Good
Good.
karma can ruin your life.
Okay.
Good luck or bad luck, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. You know what would be another interesting shirt from my Queen Kunti collection?
Oh, yeah. Let the calamities
Let the
happen.
calamities come.
From the Queen Kunti collection.
The Queen Kunti collection.
By Queen Kunti.
Accept your fate and serve God.
Yeah, you accept the fate. You don't fight it. Wise persons are like that.
It's the language of God.
Just gotta get the mic back.
We're just a frame away from being elderly.
Just one frame.
One frame.
I don't even think.
You're going to come back when you're old. You can be like,
It went by so quick.
them saying that to me. I laughed. Not me.
Have deep faith that Vishnu is lifting us.
Okay. Seeing us up where we belong.
Huh?
Yeah, just Mare.
A strong person accepts reversals in life without complaint.
That's strength.
We have very little control except for over our own mind and thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And the sages of Naimisharanya were squirrelers too.
Sort of. But their squirrels are of another quality.
A higher dimensional squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes Lord Nityananda was very simple.
Leave that for him.
Well, that's a wrap. We are about to head to a little Chota Flower Festival right now.
Chota flower.
Chota Flower
Not the
Festival.
Maha flower festival.
Not the Maha Flower Festival, the Chota Flower. Lagu Flower Festival. And everyone's dressed really nicely.
What are you doing? Close up.
Hey, princesses.
Oh, we can bring everybody back now, Mary? How do we do that? Turn on your speakers, everyone.
This camera is one of those reality mirrors. The bathroom. There's one Bombay girl here today. Laura from Chicago, Jai Gopi, Howdy Bo, Shameshwari, getting older by the moment.
Spells are just in pass.
Okay, beautiful people, it's a beautiful day. For a beautiful day, let the flowers continue to fall from the sky. Howdy Bo.
Bye-bye.